A Game Theory Story. Audio story by D.L. Morris. Part 1. Chapter 1. In a secluded radiotelemetry and transmission observatory, Ratatmo, nestled in the heart of a secluded mountain range, bathed in the pale green-blue glow of monitors, two brilliant astronomers find themselves engrossed in a troubling hypothetical. Since the discovery of radio and the expansive nature of the vast universe, they have been transmitting a hello and welcome signal, hoping that some other intelligence could decode and start an exchange. Dr. Clendathu straightened, her eyes growing wide in concern. What if we're not alone? With the raised eyebrow, her colleague, Dr. Colby, regarded her for a moment.
Isn't that why we're doing all this? To find the answer to life, the universe, and, well, everything?
It was a crisp autumn evening. The transceivers dutifully logged all signal traffic, or lack thereof. The silence was deafening, and the pair took each other's points in. There is no guarantee that any other race would play by our rules, Clendathu insisted. We could be announcing a buffet if we find others, or rather are found, by hostile. Understanding dawned on his face.
We may not like the consequences.
They are silent for several moments longer, the weight of their thoughts a cold, wet, woolen blanket on their cognition. Without warning, Colby stood and stride to a whiteboard at the edge of their office. He drags it to stand in front of their desks and pops a marker cap and begins.
So, let's work this out.
Yeah, as if this hasn't been discussed ad nauseum before the project was even planned. Nevertheless, she positioned her chair to look at the board. We can't know how they will think. That is the heart of the problem. Colby holds up a finger.
But any advanced race would at least share curiosity, or they would have no reason to advance in the first place. And all living creatures that compete for survival in any environment would have to follow game theory, and the more advanced, the more they would understand and follow. That is where we need to start. He draws a diagram of nodes, each with 3 lines connecting in a series. Clendathu brightens. This was her thesis. And any group that would need to look to the stars would have to be expansionist, and how else would they get materials to make their tech and such? So it really comes down to, if they are aggressive, destructive, possibly parasitic.
They could also be xenophobic, Clendathu gasped. What if they value their lives more than any others? Any race would care more about their own than outsiders. The implication hit Colby like a sledgehammer.
In every interaction between 2 species at the same or vastly disparate level.
It's never good for the colonized. At best, they become subservient, possibly pets.
To ensure the survival, one has to be the apex. We would have to be space-capable first. We can't call them here.
We can't risk the attention of hyper-aggressive or even moderately aggressive. Think of the diseases. Clendathu had worked herself into a frenzy.
But we've already been transmitting for...
Clendathu strides to the antenna array controls and flips the switch harshly. We have to make them think we self-destructed, or we're already wiped out by a worse enemy.
What of the public? What of our bosses?
What they don't understand, they can't enforce. 2. In the heart of a sprawling radio observatory, nestled amidst a remote landscape, 2 astronomers, Dr. Maya Ellis and Dr. Alex Chen, sifted through the data streaming in from their receivers. They had both dedicated years to scanning the cosmos, probing the depths of space for any signs of extraterrestrial intelligence. Yet, as they scrutinized the latest transmissions, a sense of unease crept over them. Maya, you have to take a look at this, Alex called out, gesturing to the screen displaying a series of erratic signals. It seems the transmissions we've been monitoring from across the cosmos have stopped suddenly. Maya's brow furrowed as she studied the data. That's peculiar, she murmured. Those signals have been a constant presence in our observations for months. Their sudden disappearance raises more questions than answers. As they continued to analyze the data, Maya and Alex found themselves embroiled in a discussion that delved into the realms of game theory, an interdisciplinary field that explores strategic decision-making and competitive situations. "Perhaps," Maya began, full of hope, "we should consider the implications of reciprocity in our interactions with extraterrestrial civilizations. They have chosen to cease their transmissions. It could be a signal for a desire for mutual cessation, a sort of interstellar ceasefire. After all, we only know they have been transmitting, not what." Alex nodded thoughtfully. "It's certainly a possibility," he mused, "but we must also weigh the risks of continuing our own transmissions. If our signals have inadvertently provoked a hostile response from some other advanced civilization, the consequences could be catastrophic." Their conversation soon evolved into a nuanced exploration of various game-theoretic concepts, from the prisoner's dilemma to the Nash equilibrium. They debated the merits of cooperation versus defection, contemplating the delicate nature of balance of trust and self-interest inherent in any strategic interaction. "In the absence of any clear communication with extraterrestrial entities," Maya remarked, "we must rely on our own understanding of game theory to guide our own actions. If we assume that other civilizations are rational actors, then they too may be grappling with this same dilemma we face." Alex nodded in agreement. "Indeed," he concurred, "if the sudden cessation of their transmissions from space is any indication, it suggests that our counterparts have engaged in similar deliberations. We, after all, are looking backward in time through the galactic window of galactic history. After all, in light of this, perhaps it's prudent for us to adopt a policy of cautious restraint." Their conclusion was sobering, yet clear. In the absence of certainty, caution must prevail. With a shared sense of responsibility weighing heavily upon them, Maya and Alex made the difficult decision to halt their own transmissions into space. It was a gesture of humility, born out of a profound recognition of the potential risks inherent in their endeavors. As they powered down their equipment and deactivated the transmitters, a sense of solemnity settled over the observatory. In the silence that followed, they reflected on the enormity of their decision, the gravity of their actions rippling outward into the void of space. "We may never know for certain whether our choice was the right one," Maya remarked, breaking the silence. "But in the absence of clear answers, we must trust in our principles and act with integrity." Alex nodded in agreement, his gaze fixed upon the star-strewn skies above. "Indeed," he responded, "our duty as scientists is not merely to seek knowledge, but to wield it responsibly. If our actions can prevent harm or promote understanding, then we have fulfilled our purpose." And so, in the hushed confines of their observatory, Maya and Alex stood as silent sentinels, the decision echoing across the cosmos, a testament to the power of reason, compassion, and the enduring quest for wisdom in an infinite universe.